Listen, when the president of the United States is granting you an interview, then you are considered a very important person. All my social media and a lot was going crazy on Howard Stern's interview of our president Friday. Now, Howard actually, I think, came in from his Hampton studio. You know, they don't do the show from the Sirius studios anymore. They have three different ways they can do the show. Howard, they have it where everybody's remote, and they've really figured out a quite seamless way to do it, and it comes across pretty well. You know, Robin's at her place, Howard's at one of his two places, one of three places. I think I don't know if he has studios in the Hamptons, his apartment, and West Palm Beach, but probably. So he has probably three different places that Howard could be. Robin's at her place. Ronnie's in Vegas. I think Baba Booey moved somewhere in North Connecticut.
Yeah. I sent you that Joe Biden stuff.
Thank you. And so they're all over. And so they can do the show that way. Where, let me see, I just want to make sure thank you, Lummy. So that's the way here we go. That's the way the majority of their shows go. Is the majority of them are from their home, and they're able to put together a good show. Or if they have like Metallica or a real big group that's going to be in, they'll put them in the Sirius New York studios, where in Howard's old studio, they'll have the band set up in there, and then Howard will be on a big screen where he usually would sit. There's a big screen of his feed, and everybody just chimes in, and they just mix the live appearance in on the whole Zoom deal, and that looks pretty good too. So that's the second way you can do it. And then the third way is the most rare, but that's that Howard actually comes into the studio and sits face to face with said guest. I think he's done this with Paul McCartney. I think there's a couple of people that he'll actually come in from his home studio and interview them. And this past Friday, Joe Biden. Well, that was a powerful cough.
It was medium. I had the cough button.
Seth, did you not hear it?
Yeah. Yes, I did.
No problem. Damn, Johnny Heavy Cougher. So, anyway, Howard comes into the studio dressed in a suit and tie, and again interviews Joe Biden. Now, Howard's catching a ton of crap from some of his longtime P1s. Oddly enough, the reason why I'm going to not stick up for, but the reason why I'm probably going to take a different than usual Bubba stance on Howard's interview with the president is a couple things. One, this is truly how Howard politically aligns. This doesn't go against the grain of what he, for the last, since probably Donald versus Hillary, where he's infused himself into the presidential race. And then, he's established that he's a Democrat. Him and Donald Trump used to be good friends. He supported Hillary, had Hillary in studio. And he, from his COVID beliefs to other beliefs, is very much skewed, Democratic. I never knew Howard really got into politics when I worked with Howard. I don't know that we really were into politics as much as his show has involved into it. But listen, we've all changed. Howard used to have girls that rode the Sibian and stuff like that, and interviewed different people, and did butt bongos and just and just like, and our show has changed tremendously too. We had those same things. And that's just no longer, I know for a fact that it's not tolerated terrestrially. And I don't think that some of the things, Lummy, that we used to do with the girls and things like that would even work on Sirius in today's Me Too,
Yeah, but you'd be killing it on OnlyFans, Bubba.
Perhaps. So Howard does an interview with Joe Biden that's got a lot of people mad. And here's the thing. Who cares? Like, who cares that Howard is supporting Joe Biden? Who cares? It's his right. If you don't like it, then don't listen. Just like we've ran off some people. Jamie from Northern Heat and Air. I mean, we've lost some people that used to be huge listeners of the show because we skew Trump.
Correct.
And I don't even necessarily want to campaign for Trump. It just seems to me that Trump is a little stronger of a person and makes a little more sense in the world that I live in.
Eric Rogan, 20 on the Venmo.
But in the world that Howard lives in, he obviously thinks that Joe Biden is his candidate.
Yeah, the Hamptons.
And so let Howard feel that way. And let Howard ask him softball questions. Because I got to tell you right now, if my guy... If Joe Biden is Howard's guy, then I would say Trump's probably my guy. And if I had Trump in here, it'd be such an honor to have him in here. I'd wear a suit if I had to.
If you had either one in here, you'd have a different decorum. You'd have better attire. It's the president. Even if you don't agree with the president, you still treat the sitting president and a past president with respect. So even though I'm not a huge fan of Biden, I would still give him the ultimate respect because he's the president.
Right. And so Howard interviewed him. A lot of people are mad. Howard, you've changed. You've sold out. Yes, he's changed. No, he hasn't sold out. But yes, he's changed tremendously. Howard's life isn't the same as it was in 06.
He's not fart man anymore.
No, he is, listen, when the president of the United States is granting you an interview, then you are considered a very important person. And Howard has now gone from the butt bongos and the fart mans and the Sibians and the shock in the vaginas to interviewing now the president. That and Howard has always been so fair to me and so good to me that even if I don't agree with what Howard's spewing, I'm not going to publicly talk about it.
Is it because the birthday card?
Well, no, it's one of which I'm going to show you right now. This guy, now, you can say what you want, but at the end of the day, I'm loyal and I appreciate a good friendship, especially in this business. And if you have a guy that's Howard Stern, then anybody that's ever sat behind a microphone and did radio doesn't respect for the for the super highway that he paved for people like me and others. And then not only take it a step further and realize that he literally took me under his wing. In 2006, when we were dead in the water and terrestrial thought we were still the bad guys, based on our FCC violations, Howard Stern said, I'll give you a job. And for 5 years, we were his afternoon drive guy. And because of that recognition and thumbprint that I was able to create on this large of a stage, Sirius XM, endorsed and handpicked by him, is why I'm able to digitally carve out a living based on the stage he gave me for 5 years. Had I not did that 5-year stint or was honored to have the opportunity to do that 5-year stint with Howard, we would be like Orlando or MJ,
just a local guy,
just a local guy. And you can't. And listen, I think you guys all know that if you're a local guy, you're not going to be able to make a living on your digital. Local guys don't make money and cannot pay their bills from their digital monetization. We can. And we're able to do that because this guy right here, who I could care less what questions he asked the president.
You think they all had to be pre-approved?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's a friend of mine, and since April of 2006, I have never missed a handwritten birthday and or Christmas card. And here's the one I just got Friday from him, handwritten. Bubba, wishing you a wonderful birthday. May this and every day be special. Howard. Let me show the camera right there, if you guys can see it. And
It's on your Twitter too, I believe, correct?
yeah, I think I put it on my Twitter
Yeah.
too. And
people shouldn't lose friendships and family members over political conversations
Right.
and differences. I mean, back in the day, who cared what they voted for? You vote for who you vote for, they vote for, and the day after election day, everyone's still friends. I mean, for people to just permanently exile people because of a political disagreement is disgusting these days.
And quite frankly, Howard, like, you're criticizing and getting mad at a guy who doesn't care, doesn't need the job, doesn't need your input, married to a smoking hot wife, has more money than the next 7 generations of his family could spend, and is by far the most successful and the most popular and the greatest of all time radio broadcaster in the history since Marconi invented radio. And so I don't politically align with him. I'm probably a lot more conservative or Republican than he is. But you'll never hear me speak a bad word about him, ever. And if he wants to put out, if he wants to talk, if he wants to interview our current president and he wants to endorse that guy and he wants to, throw him softball questions, then so be it. That's his show. And he'll always be my friend. And I just won't talk politics with him. It's that simple. Here.
I want to thank you for doing this today. I want to thank you for your compassion. The reason I'm so excited to talk to you was because I wanted to understand the tragedy in your life and how you dealt with it. And you're the kind of leader I love, because we're lucky to have you in the Oval Office and serving as the father of the country. Because if you're a good father to your family, which you are, I know you'd be a good father to the country. And I want to thank you for providing a calming influence, an organized administration post-COVID, getting that vaccine out. I remember what the world was like at that point, getting NATO, getting us to feel comfortable, standing up to Putin, the incredible...
This might not work for you, but you know what? I'm not gonna say a bad word about my friend and the way he interviewed our president, because if Donald Trump was in here, I'd interview him the same way. Softball after softball after softball, because that's my guy. Well, this is Howard's guy. Like it or leave it, or don't. Or, you know what? He didn't even care.
Large growth in the jobs, unemployment rate down. I'll give you your greatest hits. The lowest uninsured rate in history. 4 out of 5 Americans are covered for less than $10 a month. Knocking off a few ISIS leaders, cutting the emissions in half. I mean, you've always been an environmentalist. Even the marijuana reform laws, enough with sitting there and fighting that battle. Respect for Marriage Act. What the hell is with people with this gay stuff? Who cares if someone's gay? How is it affecting anybody? People in love, it's good, right? Love is good.
My dad, we saw 2 men kissing one another in Rodney Square when I was going in to get a license. I looked at him and he said, Joey, it's simple. They love each other.
That's it. That's how I look at it.
You know who deserves credit?
What's that one? I'm sorry, Joe. Hold on.
You know who deserves credit? The American people are relentless. The American people are stepping up. Who they vote for? They just never give up. We're the most unique country in the world. We really are.
We are, but I don't want to lose it.
We're not going to lose it, God willing.
Thank you for doing this.
Well, thanks for having me.
Mr. President. Look at me sitting with the president.
Look at me sitting with Howard Stern.
Wow. I mean, you can tell people this is the most important event in your lifetime.
I'll tell them that.
And so, I mean, like, call Howard a sellout. Get mad at him. But you don't ever turn down the opportunity to interview the President of the United States as a broadcaster, period.
Nope.
And probably only a handful have ever even had that opportunity.
Yep.
And, he that's the way Howard scores it. Howard scores it that way. Great, no problem. You know what I got to say? Thank you for my birthday card.
Want to listen to the show on demand and on the go? Enlist today at BubbaArmyHQ.com. Sign up and start listening.